I come back to the Be Yourself show back this week, and your host, Jess Atzenmeyer. I'm happy back. It's been kind of a crazy week. I was down in Chicago this past Wednesday for a concert, kind of still recovering from that. Whereas it's a nice and balmy 1 degree outside here at home base here outside of Milwaukee. Yeah, I am pretty sorry when I say that. We're close for the time being. Anyway. So on today's show, it's important to note that today's recording date is January 17th of 2016. So anything that I say on or happens on today's show happened on or before today's date. So that's important to note. All right, so I will get into today's topic, and we talk a lot about LGBT. There's the plus sides, and when you're talking about the plus side of things with the LGBT community, there's a whole spectrum of gender identities and sexual orientations that I think a lot of people in the general population do not know about. And one of these, what I'm going to get into today, is fluidity. What that means is basically a person can identify as either male or female, or switch, or maybe not identify as either at all, or just go with the flow type thing. And it's one of the newer ideas that seems to be that people don't know about, which is why I'm in the shade on it, because I want to bring awareness of what gender fluidity is all about. A better way to bring more awareness is to have a guest on who is gender fluid. She is not out about it yet, but first off, welcome.
Hi, thanks.
Yeah, it's an interesting topic. How does it feel to be a person who has been gender fluid and you don't really know if you're male or female, or maybe one day you feel like you're male or female, or or maybe both?
For me, it's almost like some days I want to be like a guy, like I'm feeling, I don't know, it's hard to explain, it's really complicated. Some days like, I want to be really feminine, and then some days you're like, oh, I'm really masculine today. And hard to explain to some people unless like they've gone through it, because it's just really confusing. Confuse you a lot yourself. Like I was in middle school, there were a lot of times where I thought that maybe I was just transgender and I was a male, and then there are other times like, nah, I love being a girl, like I love my body, and then it was just really complicated. Like there was a few months in 8th grade, just like a few months, and it was confused. But hey, and doing research like wrong with me, I like discovered that everything like fluid or neutral, different things like that, and it made me like, oh, this is him.
And it's important to realize that this is who we are as people, and that's a good point that you say that you may not know. It's like I didn't even know what gender meant until somebody explained it to me, and then it's just like a light just pops in your head. It's just like, oh my god, this is why this is going on in my life.
Yep.
I mean, have you thought about through hormone therapy treatments or seeking assistance with that?
I briefly talked about it with my therapist for a while, but she's actually the one who pointed out different gender identities, and you should just do some research. And looking through different things, fluidity, gender neutral, demigirl, things like that, and I looked more into gender fluidity because that's like me, and it just really pointed out a lot of things like some days you feel more masculine, some days you feel more feminine, you're really sure where. And I mean, honestly, it's kind of fun, like both worlds.
Right.
Like, when I had my hair short, I'd go out to like the nightclubs, and it was a lot of fun. Like, I mean, a lot of my friends who I was close with and who know about this, it was fun for them because I had friends, and they're like, oh, and I was like, got you. And wow, yeah. And it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it's hard to open up to people about it because I've had so many negative reactions from who I thought I could trust and who I thought would be for me. So that's why I'm not completely out. Like I have a closer friend, and it's just kind of something like to keep myself, since it's not a known topic.
And that's important too, is that time on when to come out.
Right.
It's however we feel. It took me a year myself, a year being on hormones before I came.
Right.
And I had my own personal reasons, said before, on why that long. And I'm sure you have reasons.
Right.
What would you say is your biggest fear about coming out?
I guess my fear about coming out is rejection from people who I care about. And I know in my life that if they don't accept me, they really aren't worth my time. But also, like, I've got many friends from, being bisexual or different opinions. And it's just, it really is the people pass things like that. And
I know.
It's like you know my personality, you know who I am. Why does one thing change it with that?
Right, because you always be the same person. You might outward appearance match up. And that's the same way with you. Doing what you feel makes you happy.
And I comment, you're just like, no, really not. I know who I want to be. Is who I am.
And it's becoming more of a acceptable topic to talk about. I have others who openly came out as fluid. Ruby Rose, actress on New Black, who also openly gender fluid, is becoming more of an open topic to talk about.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you feel about with gender fluid?
I mean, honestly, I'm really glad that we have like strong representatives of it. I mean, Miley Cyrus is the best role model. She says what she like about his, and that's what I love about her. And Ruby Rose, I mean, she's a great actress. I mean, she's hot. Like that. She's good.
I mean, I haven't seen season 3 yet, but it's an excellent show. The portrayal could be like inside a women's prison, and I shows I would highly recommend for people to see.
Oh yeah, I love Orange is the New Black. It's my favorite shows. I keep tuning to like see Orange is the New Black.
Hard to believe it's going to be on season 4 here pretty soon.
Right, but I mean, wouldn't have a good show. Not a job.
Yeah, right. So you've talked already about having some bad with friends. Like I said, one of the things my friends told me before I was just like, was that you're going to right away who true friends are.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like when I get closer as friends came out. It's just that old text. That's awesome, you know. I'm here for you. You know.
The thing is, like, he'll say who they are. I had a real friend. My name's obviously close. Who every day, when I considered him there, I did a photo bashing and like, and he was like, I don't agree with it, and ended our friendship because he was ignorant. And it just hurt.
I know, and it's that people do things like that. It's one of the things I talk about many times on this show is that people fear with it.
Right.
And I see it constantly in media, in daily life. And I think that, we talked about this last week with asexuality, is there's people out there who say it's just a myth. Like, is it really real? Is it really a myth? Like, people say, oh, you're just kidding. No.
It's confusion. When I discovered what gender fluidity was, like, my eyes, and I was like, this is who I am. Like, you can't do that.
Yeah.
People who try to deny who they are just sick. It really is. Whatever.
So, excuse me. One thing I wanted to bring up, when we got into better topics, a big issue with respect to gender is proper pronoun usage. And I'm curious about this with personhood. How do you view pronoun usage? Would you rather have people call you, or how do you feel?
Honestly, that one's tough because there are some days where I'm a girl. I'm definitely a girl. Like, I would pronoun she, but then there are some days where I'm like, I'm a guy today. Call me he. And then there are some other days where I'm like, I don't feel today. And then that's when I prefer like they, them, or,
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it seems like nowadays it's also just to use a gender neutral when you're just not sure. Because the pronouns, we could talk, online that it's important to use proper pronouns because that's how, it's just a respect thing.
Yeah, it really is. And then people are like, well, it's not a respect thing. And I'm like, but it really, you're disregarding what's in wishes if you call them. Somebody tells you to call them a different pronoun, then you should respect that. It's like, hi, this is my name, and then they call you a different name. Yeah. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
It's just, I introduce you as, like I said, my name's Jess. Please call me Jess. Is that really that hard?
No, I don't even understand. It's just ignorant. That's fine.
Even before I realized that I was transgender, my former name is James. It was annoying because many times where I introduced myself as James, people just called me Jim or Jimmy. And I'm just like, you know what? I don't that.
Right.
And these are people like supervised at work, who talk today, it's insane.
Yeah. Like, I've thought about picking like a more gender neutral name, but at the same time, I like my name.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I've also wondered about
I mean, I have a few friends who are gender fluid, and they have picked neutral names just because that's what works for them. I guess it's different for each person. Mm-hmm. Like, I have a friend, and they prefer name to be Charlie because of the neutral name, and I really can honestly.
Yeah, or maybe they have a name for when they feel like they're a boy, or they have a different name when they feel like they're a girl. Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's just different for each person. I mean, what suits you best when it comes to this kind of stuff, because it's definitely hard. It's hard because sometimes you're confused yourself, and then you don't know what to do. You don't know what to say, and you don't. I mean, honestly important, but then you don't know what to wear.
Yeah, like you're like looking at your class and you're like, what do I,
Right.
this is cute. No, I don't feel like this today, or I don't know where you're going or what you're doing or whatever.
I mean, like, I tend to dress more feminine because it's just more accepted. And if I were to dress more, I guess, guy-ish, if I go to school, I'd probably get bashed on, and a boyfriend would probably get bashed too. And I just don't want. I don't want to feel attacked when I'm at school.
I was going to say, how do you feel the acceptance, like being gender fluid or being transgender or anywhere LGBT spectrum is within school?
Honestly, I guess it just depends. I mean, I go to alternative school, so it's more like Rex go there, and I mean, I have come to find a lot of my friends are part of the LGBT plus community, and I mean, I guess it's cool. It's really cool. Or when I went to a different high school, there were more LGBT plus community members at school, but when I went to a different school in the suburb, it wasn't accepted. It just wasn't. I guess it varies because inner city schools seem to be more accepting, and suburb schools seem to be less accepting.
Even in accepting schools, see a lot of discrimination.
Oh, definitely. There were some teachers who were like, they're just very rude. Like, I had a principal one year said that boys wearing makeup, they would be seen. Yeah.
Really?
Ignorance that is.
Right. And then the sad thing is, we have laws like Title IX, which is a federal law, which prohibits gender discrimination within federal funded schools.
Right, and this public school, like, you couldn't do that.
Yeah.
You can't do that. That's illegal.
It is illegal.
And it was just so infuriating. And I like that school, partly because of medical issues and partly because it was really ashy and ghetto.
I mean, how do you feel like when you decide to come out? How do you change everything? Or will it change everything?
I honestly don't know. I really don't. I mean, I want to think that these will change, but they probably will because it's hard for people to have gender fluidity and because just stand it. And I mean, I want to be one of those icons that stand out and show people it's okay that you don't understand. You don't need to understand. You need to respect it. Mm-hmm. But I'm just scared at what the back might be.
Is that the thing that's holding you back the most?
Probably. Honestly. I mean, I know my parents are very accepting, but at the same time, it's just I'm personally not ready, and I don't think the world is ready either. I don't... How the world is right now, we've got people like Donald Trump who... That's another topic that I don't need to go on
right.
about, but it's just, you have a lot of people who bash and look down on it and don't understand. They're like, oh, that's not a real thing, but it really is, because even though it's not real, they hear to somebody else.
Right. I mean, that's the problem with close-minded people, is that they're not open to things that change.
Yeah.
It's changing. Life is changing. It's constantly changing. There is... Depending on what you look at, there's probably about 35 different gender identities. Whereas the problem is, like, a lot of the world thinks that gender is still just male, female.
Right, and it's really not. There's so many things that people refuse to open their minds in that, and it's just really upsetting because, people lose friends, and really that's what friendships are.
No. Like I said before, we're just people.
Right.
I mean, we're not changing who we are as people. We're just expressing how we are as,
And I mean, I guess that's what scares people the most. Like, oh, well, everything is changing now.
Or do you think that maybe part of it is because, it takes a while to come out and people look at it as, well, you're lying about yourself? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I can definitely see that. It's like, well, I wasn't lying. Mm-hmm. I was hiding because I don't, those very, and it's gotten less than it was in the past, but it's still not where you would feel safe.
Yeah, and being trans, there's still times where I'll still be male because I don't feel safe, And safety is a huge thing. Because we were talking about discrimination. It's just one person to say something dumb, just using things like going to the bathroom. It's just like, the discrimination is just horrible.
I mean, I remember I was in middle school and I came out as bi. There were some people who were threatening me and, saying all negative things, and it made me very depressed. I didn't want to do anything anymore. It really hurt.
Mm-hmm. And just coming out as bi, which I think, looking at the general social scheme of things, bisexuals seem to be more accepting right now than anything else. And it's amazing that you still experience that even in your own social circles.
Yeah, there was it was just most people saying like, "Oh, you're just confused," or and then there was a whole bunch of like Bible humpers bashing me, and I was like, whatever. If you're gonna bash me for something, then obviously you're following Christianity as a whole, because Christianity is not bashable.
Right. And we're not saying that all Christians are
right.
like
No,
that.
not at all.
Right.
Most of my family is, and they're very accepting.
Right. And the thing is, like, I myself, I'm Wiccan.
Mm-hmm.
Your parents are Pentecostal Christians. And then when I finally came out, it took them a little to get over it, but they still love who I am.
Right.
That was my biggest fear, because I know that's more of a, I don't know if I want to extreme branch of Christianity, but you know what I'm saying.
I mean, my parents are Roman Catholic, so...
Yeah. And the sad thing is there's like a Pride Fest, like especially here in Milwaukee. Milwaukee has one, I think every June of every year, and it's usually on a weekend for 3 days. And then and they have Christian groups stand at the gates telling everybody that you're all going to hell. And it infuriates me, because you know what? I don't stand part of your churches on Sundays protestations.
There was 1 year Pride Fest, and I was dating this one girl, and we were walking and holding hands. And one of them put their megaphone next to my ear and shouted, "Why do you hate God?" And I was like screaming every time, "Swear to God, your ass!" Like, I was upset. Like, don't yell in my ear with a megaphone because you're upset over me accepting who I am.
I didn't say I hate God. I just don't believe in God.
Well, I didn't know this person. I didn't know who they were. They just took a megaphone to my ear.
Oh my God! I mean, I would be. I mean, stuff like that happens. Like I was Christian years ago, and it was stuff like that really turned me off of the religion and left church, because I don't see how you could say you love everybody except the LGBT plus community.
Right. I mean, and like, if we follow the Old Testament, then whenever a woman asks for a divorce, then she's stoned to death. If you're gonna pick one part of the Bible, don't pick it. Follow the Bible. Like, and you're not looking at it like, yes, in the Bible it says man play with a man and a woman, vice versa. But when you read closer, it says it is not up to you to judge a sinner's sin. It's up to God. So why don't people understand? You can't pick and choose the parts of the Bible to follow.
Yeah, the problem with a good, large, general part of the relation of society is that people are still going to judge. And I'm a very open person. I said right away when I came out, like one of the first things I said is, ask me anything. And this is why I started. I have the group I call #stress, which talk about stuff like this all the time. And which is why I started that, because I would rather somebody know than assume.
Right. I agree. But people are scared to ask questions. Just when they don't understand, they just assume to attack.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I do things like, that's why I came up with the idea of doing this show. I'm talking about things that we're not, maybe we're comfortable talking about it, you and I, but not everybody else out there is comfortable talking about it. We have to be open to talk these things if we are going to have mainstream societal acceptance.
I completely agree. And, I mean, there are just some people who absolutely refuse to move forward. Like, the world is changing. Change with the world. Change for the better.
I completely agree. And it's not just with the LGBT plus community. There's so many other communities out there, too, that experience the similar discriminations. That's why we talk about this.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
I mean, like, right now, obviously, you have Muslims experiencing being called terrorists just because of ISIS. A small group of Islam is being crazy. Right. But you don't see people saying all are part of the KKK. That was a small group of radical Christians and honest terrorists.
Right. Or even on, like, Northern Ireland, between the Protestants and Catholics fighting for years. We don't hear about that very much anymore.
Nope.
And those, I mean, they're Christians,
Right.
There's radical groups in any religion.
Exactly.
I mean, even within my own in Wicca, there's people who practice dark magic, and I don't agree with that,
Right.
Yeah, because of that, I get the name.
Right, and then I don't really know how to explain it. You could say I'm an atheist, but I don't know most atheists, because they just attack a lot of Christians. I agree with that. I don't think that's right.
Right. And I know other atheists who are peaceful people, who are good people, who have good lives. Right. It's just like Muslims. I know I worked for a guy who's, Muslim. One of the nicest bosses I've ever worked for.
Right.
And I remember having conversations at work about religion. I was all interested in hearing his
Right.
what it meant to be Muslim, how they did things, and well, I mean, that's like what we're talking about. We got to talk about these things. Lots of people are going to assume.
I completely agree. And you have idiots like Trump spreading filth. Like, honestly, I can't tell if it's his butthole talking or if it's actually his mouth talking. It's just shit coming out of his mouth.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Sorry.
Yeah, and he's the one to say, "Oh, we need to deport all people who are illegal," which is ridiculous because you know what? That's culture. Culture is what makes our country great.
I just kind of find that he's talking about deporting illegal people, but at the same time, he has illegal people work for his businesses.
I bet he does.
I mean, hashtag saying, but
hashtag saying. You look that up later if you want. It's just ridiculous the things people say.
Yeah.
And especially politicians like that talk about it.
Politics, they just, I mean, like, legalize marriage. There are so many naysayers, and I like just be happy for them. Mm-hmm. You don't need like it. You just have to respect it. It just down to that. It's respect. That's all that it really comes down to is just having human respecting others, what they choose to do with life.
Right. It's a human right for us to us. Right. How we feel as people.
Yep, I completely agree.
Speaking of which, I wanted to ask, I think that LGBT plus as a whole has been at its strongest in years. How do you feel? Is within your own community? Like, do you feel like there's a lot that still needs to be done? Like, what kind of things would you see done in the political world?
Honestly, I think validity just needs to be talked about more. I mean, there's just a lack of understanding, and now we have famous icons like Miley Cyrus and B. Rose, and I'm pretty sure many of other icons feel the exact same. But have people coming out, and we have people starting to represent us just as transgender group have Drag Race, or you've got people like the one girl from Orange is the New Black. I forget her name. The gendered one.
Oh, Laverne Cox.
I love her. She's great.
Yeah.
And then you have people for the bisexual community like Angelina Jolie, who's been since the 90s. Mm-hmm. And then you have people like Neil Patrick Harris for gays, and then you have Ellis for lesbians. It's just you need more people out there showing that it's okay. Just
like, say what you want about her. Caitlyn Jenner made a huge difference this past year.
Oh, I completely agree.
I mean, there's many times I disagree with her politics.
Oh.
We don't need to get into that.
Right.
But as who's transgender, I think that she can only help the community.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, say what you want to about her politics, but like I said, it's important. I think it's important for all of us together, no matter what. No matter if you're LGBT plus, whatever. I mean, that's how we're going to get stuff done.
I completely agree.
And there's times where I've seen even backlashes within the own community. I mean, have you experienced that all yourself about being gender fluid? Like, maybe there are people within the LGBT community who, I don't know, don't accept it or don't understand it?
I mean, there have been people who are like, oh, you're mocking the LGBT community, and I don't understand why they think that's mocking. It's not mocking who I am. Like, the LGBT community has there for a reason.
Right. I mean, we can list all 35 of each identities and the orientations that we wanted. That's why it's there, because there is a whole spectrum. And I was looking at some stats earlier. I saw some interesting stats on this, that 1 to 8% of the general population identifies as being gender diverse. Mm-hmm. And gender diverse is interesting because it includes gender fluidity as well as being transgender. And, I think in between dropping.
Right.
And the important thing with that, though, is that it's not really an accurate number, I think.
Yeah.
Because there's just so many people who know about it.
Yeah. And you also have people who aren't out yet. So there's getting their statistics out. Mm-hmm. And also, now that we've got all of these, options, you could say, who knows what the next generation is going to be like. Hope for the best, frankly.
Yeah, I agree, yeah. So, with some mine, we'll take a quick break. I forgot to mention earlier that our website is www.thebeyourself.com, and you can listen to the episodes that have been posted there so far. And hashtag S01E04 always open 27 to talk about these various things. And I think it's important to have an open forum like that because there's not outlets where we can talk about things like this, and like we're talking about, important to talk about these things. Right. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. And welcome back to the Be Your Show. And pretty entry conversation on today's show on what it's truly like to be gender fluid. I am your host, I'm Jess Katzenmeyer, and our website is www.beyourself.com. I guess Jess, and let's get back right into it. So, we're talking a lot about coming out earlier. It feels like, wow. Now, you're been coming out bisexual. Our guest is who I identify as gender fluid. Thank you. Bisexual. How did it feel? Did you feel coming out as trans? It felt very
right. You mean when I came out as I kind of assumed it would be okay with me since I've been supportive plus community loud, not shy about it. So yeah. I figured it'd be okay, and I just felt so much better. Like I don't know, it felt like a weight was on my shoulders. Mm-hmm. I could finally breathe.
Do you feel that it's easier to talk about bisexual than being gender fluid because openly bisexual?
Honestly, I think so. Just because gender fluidity isn't to most people.
Do you think you have time? Well, where you'd be comfortable talking gender fluid? Like, do you think it'll come to that time where you're like, you know what, fuck out?
Honestly, I think so because that's what happened when I came out. I was like, fuck it, I'm done. I want people to know I'm tired of hiding. So I'm pretty that time for me. But I don't see that happening for maybe a couple of years. I don't know. It's just, I think I'm ready to be friends who know and supportive. But just, I've lost so many friends because I trust them and I just trust them.
Yeah, because I have experience. You know, obviously, it's the same thing for me as a close friend. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because which is completely different than coming out as like lesbian, you know, or gay or what, right. You know. That's why that was a huge deal for me. It's huge for anybody, and I think the reason why a lot of people decided to say, "Fuck, coming out," that's what I was like. You know what? I had everything out on a Facebook post, and I'm like, "Here we go, quick. Let's see what happens here."
I remember seeing that post, and I was like,
"Yeah,
it's good to be who you are."
Yeah, and. The difference, right. It really did. I think I wrote as a person. I came out April 2nd of this year, so April 2nd of 2015.
Right.
And this, oh wow, almost 9 months. Right. And I've learned about myself as a person than I've had in the previous 36 years.
Right.
I mean, is that the same for you? Do you think?
I mean, honestly, because I've always been attracted to both genders. Like my first crush was Haley Williams, and I was like, great. I was like, wow, hot. Mm-hmm. And I mean, people always know. And, like, I don't know. When I came out, I felt, I guess it felt almost by the time I, more, doing more with girls in a sexual way and guys. And I guess it just kind of, like, changed. Oh, it's hard to explain.
Yeah, I mean, all the time, athletes coming out with actors, actresses coming out, or big people, like, celebrities coming out, and it doesn't really hit home until you do it yourself. Right. And the term feeling, it's like you're trapped.
It really does.
Like it's our own personal jail cell. And like, okay, it's time to let the room out. So, I bring up an entity that you said your attraction to other females early as second grade. And there's been someone or children as young as 2 years old kids experiencing their own gender, can explore their own gender. So I want to know, when you realized something was different about you, gender fluid?
Well, I mean, when I was younger, obviously I had dance, but then again, at the same time, I played some basketball, and it was always kind of like being feminine and then being strong, and I always felt good. And when I was I had to eliminate basketball because dance started taking more and more time. So I guess I just always knew. I mean, there were some times where I always wanted to hang out with my older brother's friends, and I always wanted to hang out with my sister and her friends, and it was kind of constantly going back and forth and not listening, because when you're a little girl, people are always like, let's buy you an easy bake oven.
Types of oral children. I mean, from birth, where you go to baby showers, or you're getting gifts for a baby shower, and okay, girls have to be pink, boys have to be.
It makes me upset. That's why I like Target, where they're trying to neutralize all of their
Yeah, I agree. And it's funny when I buy now for a baby shower, I purposely buy genders.
Well, one of my best friends, she just had a girl, and for her baby shower, she asked for gender-neutral colors, but she knew the sex. She just didn't want anything specific because she didn't want. She wanted a girl to be where she wanted to be.
And I think that's great that they have the environment explore the gender. How when you were young, do you feel like you had that open environment to explore gender? Like, I know before you were sure if you were maybe transgender.
I definitely had the open environment. I was living with my parents would buy me clothes that I wanted. Sometimes I felt like both shirts and costumes and okay, whatever. I pick out like daddy girl and like pink and everything like that.
Yeah.
And they were fine with it. And I would sometimes buy clothes or I would want to buy dolls. I mean, little for my grandma would be American Girl doll or American Girl doll accessories. Which I thought was fun because collectibles.
And I think important, especially at age 4 kids, have that open environment. Because I didn't really have that. Like as a closet crosser, so for sure I was doing it because it explained to me what transgender meant. And of course, this was back, in the mid to late 1980s, early 90s, when it was not nearly as acceptable as a topic as it is today.
Right.
And I think this is what we were talking about earlier, to talk these things. And which is why I'm a strong proponent of gender education in public schools.
I completely agree. I think it needs to be talked about because I remember I was friend in high school and I took a class called Childhood and how they taught it in the books where there were only 2 genders.
Right.
I don't think that's right. I mean, we need to talk about other genders there. And obviously, you have your male or female, you have your gender.
Right. And that's a great thing because our biological sex is how we're born. Mm-hmm. How we identify is how we identify.
The definition of gender says what you identify, but if you look at the definition side, it'll either say, what you were born as.
That's when I realized, when you explained that to me, that being gender is when the gender that you identify as doesn't match your birth gender or birth sex. And that's when that clicked ahead. Oh my God. And it felt like, for me, I was at peace with myself. And the reason I'd gone there, my parents was not, they right with me. Mm-hmm. And that's another important point, is that there's nothing wrong with this. We're not people, and I use the term normal because I don't.
Right.
But I was using it as an analogy, is that there's nothing wrong with us.
There really isn't, and then people act like it's. I remember there was a point trying to find out I was bisexual, like, oh, get away from me. Like I'm contagious, yes, I'm bisexual.
Now you're bisexual. I mean, that's the thing with even like transgender is don't understand. Go back to what I was saying, how important it is to have gender in school. And I mean, in school, I'm talking about, I would love to see it in elementary schools.
Oh, I completely agree. I doubt that most of them with it.
And the problem that we see with a lot of it, Wisconsin, they tried to introduce the I Am Jazz book about the transgender girl, Jazz Jane. And there was backlash with parents within that school that didn't want that book read to their students, kids. And when the school is going to do the right thing. Right. And the get here with innovation is, how do we get around the parents?
Honestly, there's parents who were raised by, people who didn't agree with LGBT plus rights and have kids raised by, I think to become is like, I don't know, something was like you have to cover things like the law and everything. I mean, I think it's down to as something that, like, I don't know, it just needs to come down to something where it's important or like you need to know about it. Trying to think of a good way to explain it. Like in class, they always talk about practicing sex, but in reality, you need to talk about options,
right?
Because it's that no teenagers are ever gonna.
Right. I mean, I remember taking sex classes when I was in high school, but it's back in the mid-90s in here, where of course there's just male, female, and the big thing was that was a big term back then. The way to prevent anything from spreading and not make babies is abstinence. The problem is, parents, sure, someday we need to have that talk.
But they never have that talk.
Quote unquote, the talk. And, that's right. They never have that. Which is why again, we need to be open about talking about these things.
Like, I mean, let the girls know their options, like different birth control, and talk about different birth control. Because I remember when I just went into the OB and they started talking birth control, I had no idea what any of it was. Like, what's a Depo-Provera shot? What's an IUD? What are these? I think it needs to be talked about in school. And then you have teenagers going out and condoms and not knowing, like, get what's the best brand, how to put it on, and then they're putting it on wrong, and then something happens, it slides off, and then bam, you got a teenager.
Right.
Or you have people who are like, well, complicated, birth control complicated, we're just going to pull-out method, which is completely unsanitary.
Yeah. And the problem is that there are people within the schools who are minded to think that, oh yeah, sex is not going to happen when it does.
It happens all the time.
Right.
It's honestly a basic human thing.
Right. I mean, people do it because, for many different reasons, because it feels good, it's fun, it's, romantic, or whatever reason it might be. And, like I said, we need to be open about talking about these things. If we're going to change things for the greater good.
I agree.
I can't keep saying that enough.
Right.
I mean, look how long it took for marriage to finally legal. I mean, in 2004 is when Massachusetts was the first state to legalize it. And I remember even before that, when city of San Francisco allowed for gay couples to get married, how huge of a deal. Oh my God, why are we doing this?
Right.
Here now, talk 11 and a half years later. I mean, it takes time to get these done, and I realize that. But we did it from point A to point B, unless, we had these oaths.
Right. I agree. And then, I just find it ridiculous that, a week later, there were Republicans trying to refute the law passing of equal marriage. Really? You can't just let it go. It's the law now. You're all uptight about following the laws and the rules, so
right.
Follow the laws and the rules.
Right. That's part of the problem, though, is, happened before gay marriage legalized the whole country last year, is you had so many states going in different directions. Sure, we had about, I think it was about 3 states that was on board with it already, but we had so many different court challenges with it, and then that's it. It needs to be one way or,
right.
And I see the same happening, with things like education. It's going to take somebody to take a bold step and say, we're going to have gender education.
Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, that could be on next week's show topic.
Right. Why Bernie is the best.
But, we just got to get to that point.
Yeah. And I mean, it might be a while before we get that point, but I definitely think it's going to be worth the wait.
So where do you see the acceptance of gender fluid, say, let's say 10 to 20 years? Where do you see?
I mean, now that we're talking about it, now that people start to finally talk about it, acknowledge that it's a real thing. I mean, I could definitely see it being more a widely accepted thing, because as soon as you had people like Angela in the 90s come out as bisexual, a couple years later, bisexual is a normal thing. Or you've got Freddie Mercury and David Bowie when they came out as gay. As soon as they started being big and popular, now we have gay marriage. So who knows what it could be? It could be a well-accepted thing, or who knows?
Things that you would like to see done, in the political world when it comes to gender fluid, would you like to see things like more non-discrimination laws, or...
Honestly, I would like to see more gender fluid balance, for one, because... I mean, there are people who might just not feel comfortable going into women's or men's bathrooms, or are afraid of being bashed on. And if we just have bathrooms for people who identify as of them or both, then they have a safe place to go.
Speaking of bathrooms, I mean, of course, I think it seems like the bathroom issue is at the forefront, and we could include gender fluid in here now, because especially the transgender rights movement,
right?
Because there's so many different states who are trying to pass these ridiculous laws. So speaking, I want to ask, when you present as male and when you present as female, do you use the bathrooms that you feel comfortable with, or how do you feel about that when you're out and about?
Honestly, if there is a family bathroom, I'll just go with that instead, because, I mean, I have more feminine features than I do male features. Obviously, I have boobs. And because when when I was a guy, I like to wear boxers, loose pants, and I like to wear, baggy shirts and try to hide the boob, but can't be hidden.
Yeah.
So I feel for going to the family just go to the women's bathroom, because one time I tried to go in the men's bathroom and I felt more male one day and I was not feeling safe at all.
Yeah, and it's we have this issue because all we're doing is just use the bathroom.
Right, like I'm not hurting anybody, I'm not throwing my poop at anybody, I'm trying to pee in peace.
Right, and then to be honest with you, like when you use the bathroom, the only time you're really seeing anybody is when you're watching this.
Right, I mean, unless if you're like peeking through the cracks of the stalls, but then you're weird, like don't look at me.
Well, right, and then I think part of the problem with the transgender issue is, I said this before too, is some people look at it as, oh, okay, if you're a guy who might be confused and you're dressing as a woman going to the bathroom to look at other women, you know what? That's called sexual predators.
Right.
It's not, that's not being transgender at all.
That's just being a creep.
Right. And I think transgender people are being unfairly attacked in this issue.
Right. I mean, honestly, if you're going to categorize transgenders as just people trying to look at women in the bathroom, then you are the problem. Yeah. You are the reason why gender is so not really.
Right. And I don't know, why do we need to have the bathroom police, I mean,
who are they bothering? Honestly, they're just trying to go to the room and then wash their hands and leave. Right. It's not a big deal.
Right. Just do your business. I mean, if I'm still presented as male, like at work, I mean, obviously, the male bath is funny. I still use stalls.
Right.
Because that's what I feel comfortable with,
Right.
That's who I am. And I agree. I think there'd be more gender neutral bathroom or gender fluid neutral, unisex, whatever you want to call it. Right. Because one of the hardest things being transgender when your body is changing, sometimes people just don't know. They go out there, they know, and they like say, go and transition into female. You try to use a female bathroom, and there's other women in there who just look at you like, you're a guy. Why are you in here?
I remember in Grey's Anatomy, I don't know what it was. But there was one there where one was a woman trained man, and one of the former man transitioned into a woman, and they were a couple. And they talked a lot about different issues that they had and what their families had put them through. And I don't know. I think Grey's Anatomy is one of the shows to watch because it does touch a lot of different topics like that. There have been a lot of a lot of episodes where people have come in for sections or different things like that, and I don't know. I think it's a great show, and it shows a lot of topics like that, and is that.
And I know that we've talked already. Just talking about these tough things. Do you think media plays a big role in this?
Honestly, I do, because you have both sides of people who are like, oh, it's wrong, it's a sin, blah, 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 blah. And then you have people who are like, oh, yeah, perfectly fine to be who you want to be. And I honestly think there are a lot of the things that are promoting being up to the LGBT plus community don't really explain it or talk about it as they possibly could. And then you have people who are on the other side of the spectrum who are bashing it. They spew lies and things that aren't true about the LGBT plus community.
No,
yeah.
And recently, there's been more shows and movies that feature LGBT plus talks.
Right.
I think Transparent is a huge one. I don't know if you've seen Transparent or not. EXO, since it just came out, I know about a month ago, and transgender father who's transitioned female, who's got 3 kids who are trying to learn how to understand it.
It's a like Modern Family.
Yeah. That shows like The New Black, that feature Rose, which we talked earlier,
and
Laverne Cox, who happens to be transgender herself, and is playing a transgender role on the show.
Right.
And
actually, she's a brother who plays male parts, which I think is cool.
Right. And that was one of the great things I really liked about that show is opening us up to.
And that showed how hard her transition was.
Right. And then now you're in a female prison and with the,
And then you had some of the inmates who are being very derogatory comments, and it affected her personally.
Right.
And then you also showed it also showed how she overcame in the show, which I think is
great. Right. And that's a female prison. We can correlate a lot of that with our daily lives, like us personally our own challenges. I mean, my biggest one is presenting as female line.
Right.
Yeah, I of course I identify female, but presenting as full is a big challenge.
Right.
Let's getting over the hump with all these different things we're talking about, like using the bathroom, even clothes.
Right.
It's interesting. It's hard for me. Even go to a women's clothes store, and I'm plus size. I use stores like Torrid or like Bryant.
Torrid is a cool store. Sister shops there all the time.
Yeah, and I still feel comfortable, and I go online a lot to buy stuff because of that. And how's it for being gender fluid? Shopping for clothes, like if you want some more male looking clothes, you're in the male section,
right? A lot of words will come up and be like, "Oh, are you shopping for someone?" And I'm like, "No, I'm shopping for my damn self."
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, it's just personal challenges like that.
I've had I was at Target time. I was like buying flannels and different some jeans, which honestly, it's really hard to find jeans when you have a female body.
Right.
Like possible.
Especially when you have hips don't track you perfectly. And it's funny, like, I still wear guy jeans sometimes because the deep pockets.
Right? And, the thing is, for me, it's even for girl jeans just because I have small legs, but I have a big butt. It's hard to find jeans.
Yeah.
And I'm so short. I have little...
Yeah, as well, so you'd have, like, a custom company or like custom company.
We need custom jeans. And honestly, we need some custom companies because one of my feet is bigger and it's a mess.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's... even shopping online, ordering stuff, especially ordering my clothes for myself. Like, I'm talking about dresses, skirts, fancy-looking tops, whatever. I'm still ordering things myself. And... It still feels even uncomfortable times, and even though yes, I'm being me, it's just what is outside, and we should be thinking that way. I mean, the outside world should be accepting you for who you are,
right?
But it's just a judgmental thing, like or they think you're male, or they think that you're like, why are you in the other section?
Right. I mean, it's almost like I have to if I'm going to shopping for guy clothes, as it just. People are very judgmental. They're just like, "Oh, you're shopping for someone," and I'm like, "No, shopping for myself. Stop acting that."
Right. Have you noticed any specific stores that are more accepting of it compared to others?
Target seems a lot more. I've gone into Hot Topic, shopping guys for guys' clothes. They were cool. Honestly, Rue 21 is not very accepting. Like, as soon as you walk in, if you look like a girl, they're like, try this female perfume, or if you're a guy, like, try this male perfume. And it's just like, no. And I don't get why they have perfumes and colognes. Like, I use Axe. I like Axe. I don't like the girl kind of Axe. I like the guy kind of Axe. And I say guy as in because I know a lot of my female friends Axe. Yeah. And the girl scents smell like ass, to be honest.
And, even stuff like that, when we're trying to make sure that we feel good, that we have no BO or anything, it'd be nice just to have, like, a gender-neutral... I don't know if you would call it a cologne or a perfume. I don't know what exactly you call it.
Fragrance. It's a fragrance.
Yeah. Gender-neutral fragrance,
Right.
Just like, hey, it smells good.
Ruby Rose and Miley Cyrus should come up with a line of gender differences.
Or we can come up with our own line.
Right.
I have no idea where to start with that. Maybe once this show starts really hitting road and then we get some money.
Right. Some fragrances will have, it's just me.
Yeah, great if, more stores, especially the bigger chain stores.
Follow Target.
Well, not just necessarily say follow Target. Maybe come out as saying, you know what, we're LGBT friendly.
Right. I know stores like Walmart, which has some issues already as it is.
Yeah.
But, nobody can shop at Target. It's pricey.
Right.
But, so people always shop at Walmart. If Walmart started to get on board with things like that, I think it would, because you have a lot of people in the LGBT plus community who can't afford a lot of things and can't afford to shop at Target and have to resort to Goodwill. Right,
Goodwill, or we have another thrift store in there called Value Village, any of these other thrift stores. And I've heard of a lot of other people who will shop there. But, that's a big issue also within our community. And actually being plus size clothes are not cheap.
No, I don't even understand that anyway. And like, what also makes me really mad is like, if you want a good supportive bra, you pay so much money for it, and like, they think that, oh, some skinny girls big boobs and they need bigger bras, smaller waist sizes. Like, excuse me, there are different people out there with different shapes. You need to accommodate to us. We are paying customers.
Right.
Better make a bra.
That's a great point too. Is that we're paying customers no matter what, so they should just like appreciate our business.
Right.
You know, whether even if. Even men who like to cross-dress, who should be comfortable walking to the women's store, buy a dress. I mean, what does it matter? You know?
Like, it's not hurting you.
Right.
They're giving you money. They're paying your salary. Be appreciated. Goddamn.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, our artists open like the LGBT plus.
Right.
And I get to experience, like, okay, so being plus size and then having like an A-cup size. Mm-hmm. It's definitely hard. But it's probably the hardest thing to get used to.
Yeah, I mean, like, even bra shopping when you are a female is hard. I mean, I started wearing bras when I was in second grade. It's taken since then to find good bras, and I still can't find good bras. I just have to resort to sport bras. Right.
Do you still even be like fluid, like even for presenting as male? Do you still wear bras, like wear feminine stuff?
I'll wear boxers, and I'll wear sports bras, and I'll use bandage and try to get this flat as human.
Gotcha. Oh, yeah, gotcha.
There's this great short film on YouTube. I think it's called Boy, and I don't know if it's in French or Belgian, but it's a great story about a girl who feels trapped. It's about a girl who wants to become a boy, and she feels trapped by it, and I create what some people might go.
Right. And like we were saying earlier, before coming out, you feel like you're trapped. And you have these issues, because when you come out, even if gender fluid, you want to buy clothes of both genders. Mm-hmm. Especially, like transitioning, for me, buying female clothes, you need to have the comfortable atmosphere, because you're just exploring things.
Right.
So, I think that that's an excellent conversation.
I agree.
On fluidity and being in the LGBT plus community. And I feel like it's very much a part of our community. And like we said earlier, we all need to stick together and better part of the spectrum. And that we need to stick together. This is how we get things done. I want to say, first off, thank you so much for taking your time out, for being on the show today.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I hope it's been fun for the audience out there too about this. And it's definitely fun for me because I'm always learning new stuff.
Right.
I mean, I would like to think my next on a lot of different things, but I'm always learning new things. And that's why I wanted to have you on the show today, because it's more to the audience to actually have somebody who says they're gender fluid to be talking about it.
I mean, it's just, people are always looking for somebody to relate to, and they need somebody to relate to, and I am happy being that voice right now for people who might not understand. I'm happy to voice who I am out to people anonymously for right now.
And that's my goal with this show, is bring up the facts on whether it's the LGBT plus community, alternative communities, topics, whatever. That's what we do here. Also bring up the facts. As I said, we're a show by the people, done by the people, for the people. Right. And I truly mean that.
Right. I agree.
So, I want to thank you all very much, whoever is out there listening. Remember, our website is thebeyourselfshow.com. Hashtag Ask Jess is also to talk about these subjects. I'm your host, Jess Katzenmeyer. Thank you for coming on the show with me.
Of course, no problem.
And we'll be back. We're going to do it first. We'll call it a live recording and a live stream. We're going to be back on January 4th. We're doing the 2016 presidential primary prediction. And as you know, I take great politics and political background. And we're going to have fun breaking down everything next week. So,
oh, yeah.
So I hope you all join next week. Thanks again for joining us on the Be Yourself show.
Of course.